Hi, my name is Dan Greer. I'm a junior at Deer Lakes High School, and I'm applying to present my workshop, Beating the 7 Serious Snakes of Public Speaking. Now, as you can tell from the title, this workshop is about public speaking. I have been on my school's speech and debate team for the past 2 years, and I've presented a similar workshop twice. So I have a lot of experience with public speaking, know what it's all about, and I'm prepared to help other people learn about what it's all about. As for my past PASC experience, I have been in student council since 6th grade. I have been to just about all the conferences since then, except for a couple state conferences. Like I said before, I presented this workshop twice, and I've presented, that was at the mid-level mini-conference and at States in 2013, and then I presented a workshop on stress at the 2014 district conference. So I have some experience presenting workshops, and this one I think is going to be absolutely amazing. Now, this workshop starts off with your regular old icebreaker. We take a question ball, throw it around, whoever catches it, catch it, got it. You have to read the question that one of your thumbs is on. You can choose whichever question you want, gotta answer it. We'll all be sitting on the floor in a circle, so we're all looking at each other, seeing how everybody is, getting to know everybody, meeting everybody, and just learning a little bit about everybody, getting everybody, the important part is that it's getting everybody out of their comfort zone and having everybody starting to talk to each other. So then everybody starts to get warmed up for the topic at hand, which is public speaking. From the icebreaker, we will now delve into the real guts of the workshop. The workshop starts off with a quick little 10-minute-ish presentation about a whole bunch of different stuff about public speaking. There's about 7 different topics that I cover. All of that, it's just kind of like a quick little thing. I shouldn't say quick, but it's to get everybody thinking about what they should be doing when they're giving a presentation. And that's also all the topics that we hit in the packet, or all the topics that we hit in the presentation, or all the topics and detailed notes and stuff that are in the packet. So all the stuff that we go over there, all the important tips that they should be remembering, is all going to be in the packet. So if they forget, they have a physical copy of everything that we talked about, and that'll help them to remember in the future. Okay. So after we're done with the presentation, we will then jump, well, it's more of a presentation discussion type thing. It's not just me spitting out information, it's spitting out information and turning and spitting out and turning, and everybody's working it around in their minds. After that's done, we then move on to our first activity. And our first activity is kind of just like, it kind of just throws you in there, which is the whole point of it. Because once you learn all this stuff about public speaking, if you don't immediately use it, chances are either you're going to chicken out or you're going to forget it. So, we jump right into our first activity, which is every delegate will get a note card like this, and it'll have something on it that'll ask them some sort of question or ask for their opinion on something. And it can be anything from like, how do you feel about Superman, to do you like grapes? And then you have to give a 30-second presentation about that, and that gets everybody just up, standing in front of everybody, speaking what you should be doing during a public speaking workshop. And which actually, yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is. Depending on how many delegates there are in the workshop, usually there's a good amount that want to come to this, so it takes a while, but it really depends on how many people we have. Like, we've had workshops, well, I've presented it with I've presented this workshop where there have been only 10 people, and this is just a quick little thing, and then we move on to like a really big activity, which is the next activity. And I've also had ones where we've had 25 people in one workshop, and this is a big event, long activity thing, and then we kind of have to really make sure we get use all of our time properly. But this, depending on how many people we are, it can go fast, it can go slow. It really works well, because then you can kind of gauge how much everybody's learning. Like I said before, throws everybody in there. It makes you get up, get moving, get ready to do this, because that's what this workshop is all about. Getting up, getting out of your comfort zone, and learning how to do a skill that you didn't think you could be good at doing. Then after we're done with this activity, we move into the next wonderful activity. The second activity that we do is a little thing called Speak in the Style of. Basically, what each of the delegates do, we have this here fancy schmancy phone book, and they take it, open it up to a random page, and have to read something from that. That's not a good page. Read from it in the style of, read for like 30 seconds-ish. If they want to do more, they can do more, but 30 seconds is the minimum that they have to read. And they have to read in the style of, say, like a rapper or something. So you would be like, Optical Fashion Center, Inc., 239 4th Avenue Site, 504 Pittsburgh. Something kind of like that. Or if it's a big group, they'd have to read and they'd have like all the regular styles. But then if it's really big, they'd have to read in like the style of like an emotion. Like read something super happy, like Ross Edward OD, 500 Broadway, I can't tell what that says, PTCRN. Something like that. And it kind of gets everybody, once again, up, standing up in front. And it's a little bit easier than doing the speeches, because with the speeches you gotta come up with it like that, and you gotta figure something out. With this, it's a little bit easier, it's a little bit less nerve-wracking, reading from the thing, and also, it brings up a very important point of, when you're reading something, you don't want to literally just read from it, you want to read and maybe look up a little. Normal public speaking stuff brings up the opportunity to talk about that, and that's why I really like this activity. After that activity, if it was a really small group, and we still have some time left, then there are a couple other little activities that I can throw in there to, that'll really help, just good, solid activities, finish it out, right before we go into the conclusion. And the conclusion is also the final discussion of the whole thing, and it's kind of like a big processing thing where I'll ask them questions like, what did you get out of this? Do you think this made you a better public speaker? What tips out of here do you think you can apply to not just student council, but also when you're giving a regular presentation, stuff like that? It's just a whole bunch of questions. Well, I shouldn't say a whole bunch. It's quite a few questions that are tailored like that to get them kind of like thinking back on all the stuff that we did and make them realize, like, hey, I came in here all scared and timid, and now I'm leaving here like all super proud and happy, and I can just go tackle that next speech. Yeah, go tackle that next speech. And that's what this workshop is all about. One thing that I would like to mention is how I like to have the room set up, because that's very important in a workshop like this. I've tried it where we've made a U shape. That doesn't work, because then the people who are in the middle, presenting their thing, doing their public speaking thing, they feel kind of trapped almost. And then we've also done ones where everybody's been in straight, boring lines, and that's no fun either. So what I like to do is I like to have him kind of angled in a little bit. So like a row and like an angle in and an angle in and an angle in. So that way I can still see everybody, talk to everybody, be doing my thing. And then whenever it's somebody else's turn to come up and do one of the activities, standing up right there, right in front of everybody, everybody can see them, all eyes on them, and it's their show. I just thought I should mention the way that I like to have the room set up, because it's a little bit specific, but it really, really helps improve the workshop. So, to wrap it all up, this workshop is a really solid, good public speaking workshop. I've done things like it before, workshops that were very similar to this, all went over really, really good. Everybody learned a lot. I had fun presenting them. Everybody that I talked to after and all the processing said that it was really great. I took all the constructive criticism from that, put them into this, and this, I believe, is a very, very good workshop. And thank you for considering having me at your conference. Thank you.